Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, with loads of further reaction to the cheating scandal that went down last night. OpTic have also revealed they're confident at going to Toronto with the home crowd they might well have, given the pedigree of Dashy and Illy. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Zero with some nice clips right here. Doug Sins, Martin Gogoff in the background. We'll look at another clip from Zero later on today actually. We're going to talk about this as well also on Tuscan, because well, yesterday we looked at this clip where this guy, Plexify, he just comes straight out with a hacks through the wall. Phenomenal stuff. Of course, we talked about this in yesterday's video, but so much more reaction to it really in the community. Every single time something like this happens, if you guys missed yesterday's video, you guys can see very clearly indeed the red, the red outlines on the screen right here. This guy manages to completely expose himself live on air. Fantastic scenes. Nature's like, look, what is wrong with the youth these days? And that's the thing, like every time like a major scandal like this comes out, because this guy was number 2 ranked on the ranked ladders. Now he's been removed, we'll see here in a second. Nadeshot's talking about it. Even, Zuma comes out with this one, right? It's really annoying because if anything, this problem is, it's not exactly getting better, right? I guess it has been curtailed to some degree on the Warzone side with the Ricochet anti-cheat, which hasn't arrived yet to multiplayer. So yeah, very frustrating on all the different fronts. I know, well, the Crimsix was coming into battle as well. Of course, Fat Mad, I guess, Batman. Maybe he's going to be the one to take down the cheaters, right? As Decimate says, because this guy, like, who was cheating, he came up with a twit long. We'll look in a second. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, and I haven't bothered because it's just not worth your time. But, still he's talking about the fact that he downloaded these hacks to, get camos effectively, which apparently is okay, and then just forgot to turn them off for the game, even though, you could clearly see on his stream, he has some sort of overlay or some way of showing the game on stream so that, like, you can't see the hacks, whereas, when the game glitched or whatever, then you could see the hacks come through. So this guy's gone to the effort of making it work so that you can't see the hacks on stream, but then is simultaneously saying that, oh yeah, he didn't mean to use it, it was unintentional, sorry lads, I forgot to uninstall. Like, just unbelievable scenes, frankly. Even Nick Merckx comes into battle as well. 42,000 likes on this one. Cheating in gaming is becoming a serious problem. You really never know anymore. Competitive integrity out the window. Obviously, something needs to happen. Where to even start? I want to team up and get something serious done. So it's tough to say what Nick Merckx can even do about this, right? Whether Nick Merckx can come up with his own sort of anti-cheat that spans all games. I don't know whether that's something that's plausible or even achievable, to be honest. But interesting, really, how like something like this really kicks off into a wider discussion within the gaming space. And Crim comes back with become the anti-cheat, die to the hacker, hunt his ass down, save the lobby, call it fighting crime. Nick, you're out of the people. Now give the people the hero they deserve. Stand up for Gotham City. Yeah, Crimsix fully embracing the kind of Batman, Fat Man type role here. But still, what can you do about this? It's rather tough to say. This is the twit longer he comes out with, right? And excuses about the fact that he downloaded it for camos, all this type of stuff. The twit longer is absurdly long. Like, if you guys actually want to go and read this, feel free to. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to waste my time with it. But Jack Lucky tweeted out and Clayster tweeted out and quote tweets that one saying, lol, why is it always some excuse? Never just lol, I was hacking, screw you guys. I thought it was kind of funny response here from Envoy actually. Everyone I keyboarded on hold that else. If you guys aren't familiar with this story, back in the Black Ops 3 days, I think it was around Black Ops 3, Envoy was known to effectively be a keyboarder in some online channels. Like, he'd plug in, I think it's like a Zim, is it, or something? You plug in a keyboard effectively, which still can give you aim assist in the game while using a keyboard and mouse. I think you would actually use, or some of the keyboarders would use the controller still to move. Like, you'd use the left thumbstick still to move around, but then you use the kind of right mouse to aim or something. Or like, jumping around and stuff like this was probably better in that game on controller than it was on keyboard mouse. I'm not really sure, but like keyboard was a pretty big problem in that game, and Envoy was one of them, right? And he kind of owns it, right? Which is, kind of, you can look at it which way you want to, but obviously he was younger in those days. Nowadays he's a very legitimate professional player, but still it's kind of funny with these hackers that come to the party using cheats pretty blatantly. They seem to say all this stuff about the excuses and why they did it. Envoy's like, look, just embrace it, right? And say you were effectively cheating in some of these games back in the day. So honestly, just an unbelievable turn of events. Even Formal says this one. I wonder what it takes to actually get dopamine while cheating. You've got to be hitting clips to get some authentic stuff, right? I just don't get it. If you're cheating in video games, you'll eventually look back on this part of your life and realize it was the lowest point. Well, that's the thing. Like, out of these guys who are cheating, and you're like, oh wow, I smoked that guy. Like, I just saw him coming through the wall. I don't understand it. But each to their own, I suppose. Hopefully they can get on top of all this type of stuff. And the good news is he's been removed from the top 250. I'm pretty sure I saw Doug say he was like 23rd on the ladder. He wanted to get up to like 13. I think he got to 13. Then he wanted to get up to 7. But when he came on, I guess he was up to number 12 because he's now gone. And the top is a very different story. But Chain is number 1. I believe this is a different Chain to the European amateur player who's been around a few years. I think some people said that actually this Chain guy was kind of playing with the guy who's now been exposed as hacking. So that's also kind of an interesting question. They might have to figure out exactly what we do about that one. But yeah, the cheating scandals never seem to go away. Every so often there's another one like this. And probably only be a matter of time until it happens again on a more widespread scale. Right? Who knows what sort of challenger players this could be going on with, trying to get into the pro league. League, right? It's a really difficult discussion. Let's talk the next major that's coming up then. So the next major is in Toronto. Methods, of course, formerly on that team. Thought this was kind of cool, though. Actually, Boston Breach doing some sort of after party open bar at PAX East on, I guess it's this Thursday. Pretty cool, right? Because the other organizations, Minnesota Rokkr especially, probably have done the best job since the, well, onset of the franchise era at building a local fan base that did such a good job at the Minnesota Major. We'll discuss here in a second. The fact that they were even able to compete with the OpTic fans at the venue is not something which has happened for many years. I guess Boston trying to do a similar thing, trying to activate their kind of local community. Thought that was pretty cool to see. But, OpTic are obviously very confident that going back to Canada, they might well have some support in the local crowd. That's the thing, as I say, at Minnesota. Like, the fact that OpTic came out on stage and got booed, that's something that's just kind of great to see, right? The fact that these local communities and, other teams, like if OpTic go to FaZe's venue, you really want FaZe's venue to be supporting FaZe and booing OpTic, whereas that the reality is it might not necessarily be like that. But Minnesota have managed to make that work. But of course, going to Toronto, going to Canada, the next event, may be a very different story, right? And the OpTic guys seem rather confident that this might play to their favor. Of course, generally, OpTic always going to have the home crowd wherever they go. Wasn't the case in Minnesota. They got top 6. That's not the only reason why that was the case, but you can certainly look at the home support they had at the OpTic Major and probably say that was something of a deciding factor, or at least not a deciding factor, but, some sort of extra push for those guys, and also for FaZe on the other side of the stage having to deal with it might have played into OpTic's hands to some degree. When they didn't have that in their back pocket in Minnesota, they don't have quite the same performance. They reckon they'll get that back in Toronto.
I was happy that Minnesota had a fan. Like, the next one that we go to is Toronto.
Yeah, I was about going to that.
Yeah, when we go,
Toronto.
Listen, when we go to Toronto, okay, Toronto. When we go to Toronto, listen, okay, I know that the Toronto's going to have some fans there, but Toronto's very own, Dashy,
and
Illy,
yeah,
Karma, Rambo. Like, we got Canadians that are coming back home.
Brandon says he's got 30 people coming.
Just
30 people coming from Brandon. I said 30.
All his friends, yeah.
He said, yeah. I was like,
yeah,
30. You don't get that many passes on your event.
I tell you what, the hype squad's absence was felt in Minnesota. You know what I mean? Like, the drums were missed in Minnesota, I think, a little bit. I think like everybody reverted back to like.
I can't believe that it worked. The drum part.
Yeah,
I was like,
No, I knew it was gonna work from the beginning.
Really?
It was inevitable. Yeah, and bro, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give props to Minnesota Rokkr. Their cheers were on point. Their intro was on point. They had this like
sparks coming out.
Yeah, well, the sparks, yeah, but I'm talking about like their intro video where.
So the Toronto Major is coming up in a little bit of time. The qualifiers begin May the 13th, just after the Pro-Am Classic, which still no more details about that, at least as of recording this video. Then Ultra, the LAN tournament is right at the start of June. So this is effectively the next LAN tourney, couple of months from now, just under a couple of months away. But yeah, that's going to be in Toronto. And of course, look, Dashy is Canadian, Illy is Canadian. In that clip, Hicks was kind of saying how Dashy's got 30 friends coming along for the ride already, just kind of local people that are going to come to the venue. The OG hype squad, I guess, was kind of missing from the Minnesota event. They reckon they're going to bring it back in force. Illy, of course, from there as well. Like, Karma, for example, world champion with OpTic. One of them was legendary players, still part of OpTic, right, on the content side, I suppose, nowadays. Also Canadian, so, like, a lots of great Canadian tenure. I guess Rambo Ray as well, right? He probably was mentioned in that clip, actually. But I believe he's from Quebec, also Canadian. So, like, obviously OpTic have a lot of kind of tenure and history with Canada. You'd imagine they're going to have a fair bit of support at that venue. Whether Toronto can kind of get the same thing going is another question mark. Also, I guess another question mark, will there be fans at the venue? I don't know what the situation is like in Canada, but I imagine it's somewhat different in Canada and Toronto than it is in Texas, for example, right? So maybe that's a discussion to be had, but hopefully not something that will affect anyone when, we get to the heart of the summer, I suppose, in June. But how much of an impact do you think this had? I think there's certainly, like, at the events I've been to, I think the one that really stands out to me the most is CWL Birmingham 2018, when Splice made this crazy lower bracket run. They got to the grand finals against Luminosity. LG were effectively the favourite team. They did end up winning the grand finals, but that Splice team, I think it was Madcat, Tommy, Jerd, and I guess it was Bance at the time. Like, that team of 4 was a very talented team of 4, no doubt, but they played some of the best COD I've ever seen them play in the losers finals and the grand finals, or really any team ever play. Like, they played Rise Nation, one of the best teams in the game, and they almost 50-point clubbed them on one of the maps. That would just not have happened if the crowd wasn't, like, absolutely insane cheering in their favour. There's no way that happens if it's just like a regular match. So So the crowd definitely has an impact. They did make the grand finals. They played some ridiculous COD again in Series 1, and they just kind of ran out of gas in the second series. But from personal experience, the crowd can make a huge impact in Call of Duty, and I think to some degree, it might have helped the Minnesota guys, even though I guess they didn't really see that. Unfortunately, they played OpTic round 1, so that's always going to be a tough one. And, you know, of course, Dashi says this back in 2017, Toronto is the greatest city on earth. I'm sure he has a lot of friends there, a lot of history there as well. And even this from Illy, I found a tweet from back in 2018, when, you know, in the CWL days, when Hex says what city would be the best for the CWL to have a tourney. Hex wants one in Dubai, at least at the time, and Illy says Toronto, right? So that would be awesome. And of course, it's now happening. So Illy, I'm sure, is going to be very excited about it. And if they do have great home supporters, you might well expect them to, then, you know, obviously that could play in their favor. Of course, we saw this, right? Like when the crowd's in their favor, giving the momentum. That's the thing, I guess, when we saw the kind of FaZe versus OpTic series, that reverse sweep, when OpTic 6-0'd them in the game 5, like, you know, that's something where the crowd does come into effect. It's kind of like a fifth man on the team in a sense sometimes. Not going to make the hugest difference, but in moments like that, just when momentum is involved, I think the crowd definitely has a part to play. So it certainly could play into OpTic's hands to some degree. There was some other discussion about this Toronto event, because I believe it's been stated by Adam Adamo at the Toronto side that they are planning to do a Challengers Open at the same time. Yes, I'm kind of inspired to some degree by the fact that both the Ultra Academy teams did very well. Now, some more other controversial topics here. A tweet that ends up getting deleted here from Prolute. But, well, he basically says, why do I have to become a hamster to enter Canada? And Phantom says, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be forced to take anything. So I guess talking about the whole vaccine situation, it's pretty standard to my knowledge for countries and even states, if you want to go there, to have to be double or, you know, fully vaccinated, whatever the term is they use nowadays. That's pretty standard stuff, to be honest. Like, you know, whether you agree or not with that policy, that's pretty much just how it is for entering another country or even like other states in the US. So, you know, kind of interesting, right, that these players, like, we don't really want to go down that route. Of course, if they don't go, then that kind of affects the rest of the team. I saw some funny comments on Reddit basically saying, like, oh no, Prolute and Phantoms won't be at the major. It's chalked, like, it's over, like, you know, nobody cares anymore, right? Which, you know, is kind of interesting, to be honest. This tweet was real, ends up getting deleted. Phantoms one is still up there. So, yeah, don't know what you guys think about this one. Of course, it's just kind of the way things are right now. Maybe these restrictions get lifted eventually, but like, look, if you want to be, this is what I don't really understand. These players want LAN, and they want, they don't want to play online, but like, you know, when LAN is available and actually a possibility to go, then there's still complaints about what they have to do to get in those situations. Like, surely if you want to be like an international sportsman, athlete, e-athlete, whatever you want to call yourself, this is probably something you just have to do. But I'm sure Doug said to Martin will be there if the possibility arises, but very much intrigued to get thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button, tell us on YouTube, gods, this is a good video, I'd just like you should see it as well, and upgrade the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you guys as always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.
Yo, if we could get a couple kills, we could stack this and win. Dan, what do you want to do? You want to nade top or you want to hit the back?
I already naded, man.
I can nade top with you.
I want to nade plat. I'm nading plat now.
Dan, I'm gonna nade plat, Dan. Hold on. Nading plat.
I know that.
Let's go, boys.
Plat, sweet. I'm with nade.
I got him, plat. Go. I stunned you, Dan.
Comms.
No, comms. Stack.
Oh, my shit.
Win that one. Nice, stack. Watch your T, watch your T.
I'm looking at IT.
Oh, if I can, we push.
He's close. Watch out.
No way they choked that. Not a chance.
5v17.
What are they doing?
Oh my god.
That was 4v17, bro.
What are they doing?
Sean killed the guy P5, I naded the guy plat, and then we just single. Dude,
Well, I had to go with nade plat and then
That was
killed the
so
guy coming at
beautiful.
comms.